When the holidays arrive, we turn more and more to the spicy taste of cinnamon. It's been traded and treasured for thousands of years, and it's delicious in a sweet or savory dish. Well, this almond flour cinnamon swirl bread is guaranteed to satisfy your sweet tooth guilt-free. And that's because it's low carb, gluten-free, keto and paleo-friendly, and you can make it dairy-free. I'm Chandy Attree, and I love cooking in my RV, but let's get cooking in your RV. You can make this recipe in a single loaf pan, 4-compartment minis, or individual loaves, which is what I'm doing today. If you want the recipe for the single loaf, we've got that for you right on our blog. We'll start by making the cinnamon swirl. In a small bowl, I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup of granular sugar replacement like Swerve or the Monkfruit that I'm using here. Add 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Whisk the cinnamon and sugar substitute until well combined, then set the bowl aside. In a medium mixing bowl, add 7 large eggs. Then 2/3 of a cup of granular sugar substitute, 11 tablespoons of melted butter, 1/3 of a cup of unsweetened almond milk, and 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. Now whisk it all together well and set the bowl aside. In a large mixing bowl, add 2 2/3 cups of almond flour. Now I'm using a wire mesh strainer to get out all the lumps. Then add 1/3 of a cup of coconut flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Now whisk these dry ingredients together well to incorporate them evenly. Now stir the mixture together until it forms a thick cake batter with no lumps. Now you'll want to do this for about 2 minutes to make sure that the coconut flour completely absorbs all the moisture. All right, it's time to preheat the convection microwave oven. You want to make sure the rack is in the center so that hot air circulates around the bread to cook it evenly. Then you're going to set your oven to convection bake mode at 325. So while the oven is preheating, you're going to line each mini loaf with 2 pieces of parchment paper, leaving a little extra length so that you can pull the bread out when it's done. Spoon the mixture into the bottom part of each mini loaf pan, using roughly half of the batter. Now we'll take that cinnamon swirl mixture and sprinkle it right on top of the batter in all 4 pans. We're going to use roughly half of the mixture here. Now I'm taking the remaining batter and spooning it on top of each loaf, and I'm going to spread it out with my spatula. Add the remaining cinnamon swirl over the top of each loaf. Now carefully draw a knife through each bread loaf, and that's going to create a swirling effect. So pretty. Place the loaf pans in the oven and then set your oven timer to 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, cover the top of the bread loosely with aluminum foil. Now that'll prevent the top from burning while the middle of the bread continues to cook slowly. Now I'm going to reduce the oven temperature to 300 degrees and cook for another 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you'll check the bread for doneness, and the best way to do that is to just grab a toothpick, stick it right in the middle, and if it comes up clean and dry, it's ready. But if it's still a little moist, put it back in the oven and bake for another 5 or 10 minutes, then check it again. When the bread is done, just leave it in the pan on a cooling rack for about 10 minutes, if you can wait. Then you just lift out the loaves using the parchment paper as a holder and just set it on the rack. Now you let it cool for 2 to 3 hours and then it's ready to eat. Or you can put it in an airtight container for up to a week. You can also seal it in plastic wrap and put it right in the freezer. If you make this almond flour cinnamon swirl bread, and I hope you do because it's delicious, tell us about it in the comments below. And as always, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with friends and family, and subscribe for more great RV recipes just like this.